Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. It's our third episode for the year, and we're doing a little bit something different this year. We're kind of getting out and about, and we're at Hume Reserve, which is a bit of a homecoming of sorts for our next guest. And welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show, because we've had EMILY Sutcliffe on the show many times in the past. So EMILY, welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. How are you?
Nice to be back. Good, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, very good, very good. Thank you. Look at this day. What a perfect autumn day. It's a lovely Monday morning, and there's a good reason why we're actually pre-recording this on a Monday. When this is going to air later tonight, you're actually going to be in Melbourne playing in the NPLW season opener for Essendon Royals.
Yep.
Wow. Last year, Boroondara Eagles, and now it's a new chapter at Essendon Royals. How did that first of all come about, and how are you feeling about ahead of the new season?
Yeah, really excited for the season. I think a lot of work goes into it, and we're finally at round one. So yeah, really excited to get going tonight. 8:15 kickoff on a Monday isn't ideal, but it is what it is. But yeah, the move from Boroondara was purely down to the travel. And I'd spoken with Vince, the coach of Essendon Royals, in the previous year, and yeah, really liked his kind of style of play, the way he thinks, the way he conducts his teams, and obviously, you know, the results showed from that for Essendon last year. But yeah, the travel for Boroondara was, it was a nightmare at peak hours. So doing that, 3-4 times a week took its toll on the body. So yeah, when Essendon got promoted, it was it was a really good choice to take half an hour off the journey and get closer. And yeah, really looking forward to it.
Makes a big difference. And as we mentioned in the news desk section of tonight's program, in today's Geelong Advertiser, there's a great little feature on a former Galaxy captain, last year's Galaxy captain, Phoebe Vivian, who joins you at Essendon, as does Christy Mary, another Galaxy girl.
Yes, it's good to see there's a few of us going across now, which is makes the travel easier when you're sharing it between us. But no, really excited for the other girls as well, that they've got that opportunity to play NPL, and we're just looking forward to getting started tonight.
Well, newly promoted, I mean, you and Christy had that experience at Boroondara, and gee, didn't Boroondara do so well in their first season back? So you've got that experience of having played in a newly promoted side. But Essendon Royals, and I was watching a special feature on Football Victoria about Essendon Royals a couple of years ago. They were in State 1, and now all of a sudden they're in NPLW. Explain to us, what's the mood around the club? What's the level of excitement heading into the NPLW season, both on field but also off the field?
Yeah, pure excitement. Everyone's just raring to go. We've got nothing to lose, really, so just out there as the newly promoted team, the underdogs, if you like. So coming into that again, I personally love playing in that kind of environment, and showing everyone what we're made of and what we can do. And it's a really solid group of girls this year. Really good culture at the club. We've already had a few club events with president, and everyone's round the girls. The girls are doing really well. The men come and watch the girls and things as well, which is cool. So a lot's gone into getting to the point where we're at now. So now we've just got to get the job done tonight. Yeah.
We'll talk a lot about other things associated with the NPLW, but let's get back to, I guess, Essendon Royals. Look, when you were at Galaxy, you played that kind of central playmaker or central midfielder playmaker role. At Boroondara, much of the same. You played, you were kind of versatile, played in a few different positions. What do you see your role as this year for the Royals?
Yeah, so similar to what I have been doing previously. So Boroondara is playing a bit more defensive than what I'm used to, so that was a new role for me, and kind of gave me a different outlook on the game as well. But again, this year playing in that central channel and really trying to provide the ball to our top 3 or top 4. So looking forward to it. It's going to be an exciting match tonight as well. We're going against the previous champions. We narrowly missed out by 2 points last year, so I feel like no one really expects much of us going into it, and they don't know much about us. So it's a chance to prove ourselves and show how far we've been working over our pre-season and what we've been doing.
Now, you've obviously tasted NPLW experience with the Galaxy before, and then you stayed with the Galaxy when they were VPL, and now you've come back into the NPL competition. There's been monumental changes. It's gone from 8-team competition to an 11, and this year there's going to be 12 teams. Apart from just the structure of the competition, have you noticed the standard different, increase, improve the pace of the game, the ferocity of the game? What sort of changes have you seen in that time?
Yeah, definitely. I think, well, for me personally, getting older, the pace of the game seems to be getting further up. But it's always a delight running after 16-year-olds and trying to catch up with them. But no, it's definitely improving. I think the standard of coaching is improving as well. Like I was saying, that the level of detail that Vince has gone into so far is, I haven't seen that level of detail in the female game since I was back in the UK. So it's really, really good to see how, I think, knock-on effect from the Matildas, and more people are watching the female games. The crowds are getting bigger. The professionalism is just going up and up. So I think you can really see that reflect in the game as well. And there's some really good, talented girls coming through, which is good for the NPLW, but also good for the country. That there's that next step coming through as well. So it's really good, and I'd encourage everyone to try and get down to a game. Or now they're live on YouTube. It's everyone can watch on there. So the more support we get, it's more important for the girls that are coming through the ranks as well to get that exposure.
But we've seen 2 years ago you and Christy moved to Burundara, or last year I should say, but since that time it's almost like you're pioneers, because we've had Josie Lonsdale and Vanessa, I think, from Brunswick Juventus, that I know of, Maddie Rakic, if I'm not mistaken, at Bentley Greens, Poppy and Hunter Gurkovic at Preston, the under-23s. Natalie Pickhack as well, she's at Western United in the A-League, but she will probably likely come back to Calder United as well. So there's a lot of girls, ex-Galaxy girls, coming up through the ranks now. And that, I guess, brings us to our next question. You've come back to Galaxy in an off-field role as the junior technical director, so it's a massive undertaking, massive responsibility, but if anyone can do it, it's definitely you, Emily. Being responsible for the next generation. Tell us more about that role.
Yeah, I think, it's something that I've always wanted to do. Obviously, I coach as a full-time job as well, so trying to get my coaching experience up and up while I can. It's a bit challenging at times whilst I'm still playing, and obviously the travel commitments to Melbourne as well. But it's I've always wanted to be able to do it, and like you said, there's proof in the pudding that the Galaxy girls are going up into the NPL competition, and we are getting exposure to kind of junior Matildas, young Matildas, and things. So being from a kind of country town myself back in the UK, I always knew that the biggest cities is where the opportunity is at. So for me personally, I want to try and make sure that we're doing as much as we can in Geelong to make sure that we're fostering the growth of all the girls here and giving them the opportunity to play at the top level. So if I can be part of that success and kind of pave the pathway through for all the younger girls coming through, then that's a goal for me as well. So
and we see more and more it's in the NPL pathway, it's harder to retain a whole team together, because there's always these opportunities, whether it's in the boys or the girls. Players tend to sort of drift towards some of the A-League academies and things like that. How are you, this year's crop of players, how are you finding them adjusting to that, your demands, your kind of requests, and to that of the coaching staff as well?
Yeah, I think for me, it's just always been about professionalism, no matter what level you're playing at. And personally, played in Geelong, played in Melbourne, played in Wrexham in the UK, and it's just wherever you go, just holding yourself as a top professional player. And even if you're not doing that as your full-time role, then still conduct yourself around. And that's really something that we've tried to impose on the girls from a younger level, is just the positive culture, being polite and being respectful and holding yourself in the highest regard. So turning up to training on time and all these basics that I think all footballers, all young footballers need to hold themselves in that way, and the opportunities come from there. So that's been a big one for us, is just getting the culture right, getting expectations of coaches and players up to the top level, and then hopefully these kind of opportunities do start coming to those players. Because a big thing I've always noticed from my experience is people are looking at attitude off the pitch and on the pitch as well. So if you can get that right, then the talent takes care of itself.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point, that whole culture side of things. And I think the more and more I speak to coaches, they really push that, they really reiterate that. You mentioned you're a full-time coach, so you do that now as a living. You're a professional coach with Football Stars Academy. So you're dealing with a lot of kids that are just new to the game that probably can't kick, but they want to learn to kick. And then you've also dealing with those elite players at the other end of the spectrum. How do you as a coach kind of approach those two completely different almost audiences, but still with the same kind of end goal of them enjoying and improving their skills?
Yeah, I think it's just about the big word for me all the time is opportunity. So, are we providing enough opportunity, especially being a regional city, to bringing players into the game? So whether we've got a 5-year-old that's kicking the ball for the first time, or a 10-year-old that wants to be going into, you know, the next level of their pathway, then just making sure that they feel supported, and also educate them on the game, and parents on the game as well. You know, we're in a city that's got a lot of football going on, but we've also got AFL, basketball, everything else as well. So it's just about making sure, you know, it's again part of the culture, and we want to be able to provide the pathway. Like you said, we do our elite programs as well, so we're helping boys and girls that want to get to the next level, and whether that's NPL or whether they want to get to an academy, or, you know, A-League academy, or whatever they're going to. We've got tours going as well, so we're taking a group across in September to the UK. So we're going to Tottenham, and we've got links with obviously Ange being there as well. So we're taking over 30 players across to the UK, and next year we've got Spain on the cards and stuff as well. So just about providing those opportunities and exposure to the game.
Yeah. We 2 weeks ago, when on our first show back, we had an interview with Adrian Layer from Curva Coaching, and he's done the big plunge this year. He's going full time into his business, and he's got a couple of coaches as well that are going full time. So it seems to me there's a growing industry. It's still small, but compared to maybe AFL, but in Geelong we've started to have this football industry. Are we heading in the right path? Have we got enough resources? Do the clubs collaborate off the field a little, or should they be collaborating a lot more? What's your take on the landscape of football as an industry, not just as a recreation, but as an industry here in Geelong at the moment?
Yeah, it's definitely changed. I've been in Geelong now for coming up to 5.5, 6 years. So I've seen it change a lot and evolve a lot, and we've got more teams, and we've actually just, you know, I'm part of the GRFC as well, so helping with all the clubs and trying to help build the game, especially the girls' game, and we're experiencing growth in every club for the girls' game, which is brilliant. So yeah, I think there's definitely more demand for football. A lot of my role is within schools as well, where there's a huge demand of making sure that, you know, within that term where the PE teachers are focusing on football, we go in and help them and give them session plans and give them ideas, and then hopefully that might foster a love of the game from a few participants within that class. And the clubs as well, you know, with the work Adrian's doing and myself, and, you know, there's other people around doing great work within the community, and the more we can get kids playing, then that's the main goal. So, and the more opportunities we can give for professional and quality coaching, that's, you know, that's great as well. We're looking at helping coaches as well. We've got a lot of parent volunteer coaches,
yeah,
so
that's great.
Going in, and we did it last year with Lara. We've helped Geelong Soccer Club. We're looking at even here at Geelong and Galaxy is going in and just helping the junior coaches and getting players as well. Like, I've got a few senior players at the moment with Galaxy that are coming across, and the more we can get them exposed to professional coaching techniques and session plans and how to run a session and all these the basics. If we're getting the basics right, then we're going in the right direction. So, you know, the population of Geelong's growing, the amount of people playing football is growing, so we've got to have the infrastructure in place to support that as well.
Yeah. And one thing I think a lot of other sports do very, very well, and officially that other sport, the oval ball or egg ball or whatever they want to call it, they seem to do it really well. And netball, because it's so tied in, is the side of mental health.
Yes.
We're talking about young people, but here at Galaxy, you've actually done something with Read My Play.
Yeah.
Something along those lines, something for both the kids themselves, the players, but also the parents and the carers. Tell us a bit more about that as well, that program.
Yeah, so we knew a bit about Read the Play through some of the clubs. They had been partnered with AFL, basketball and cricket. So we reached out to Michelle, and I went and had a meeting with her and just kind of said, look, football is, you know, one of the biggest sports within the region in terms of participation. We'd really like to connect, and yeah, we managed to get the partnership over the line, which was really good. So they're actually coming down tonight, so they'll run mental health workshops with all of our junior age groups and some of the senior age groups as well, and just basically touching on, you know, drugs, alcohol, gambling, all these kind of big issues that younger players may face now within the game, and just help them understand these. And for us as a club as well, we'll actually get officers trained up, so just parents that can go and get mental health training, so that we can recognise if there's any triggers within the playing group or within the players. So we're just following that player-centred approach that we're adopting this year, and making sure we're supporting the girls on and off the pitch to be the best person they can be.
Well, just judging by everything that we've spoken about, there's a real need for having some of those roles like junior technical director and coaches and director of coaching, which once upon a time might have been voluntary. It's almost these days almost a necessity to have it almost full time, or if not, an expanded part-time role. But looking ahead to this year, obviously with your role at Galaxy, with your role teaching and coaching and all of that kind of stuff, plus the NPLW, you're going to have your hands pretty full. Are you enjoying that?
It's definitely got its challenges,
yeah.
For sure. It's got its challenges, and yeah, just about being super organised. And like I was saying to the girls off the pitch, we've got to be carrying ourselves in the best possible way. So if I can give back to the game that's supported me and taken me across the world and met the people that I've met and things, if I can provide that kind of support to players coming through, then that's my main goal. And
yep.
But yeah, playing while the body still can, that's my priority. And yeah, anything else I can help with off the pitch and around Geelong to grow the game and get us up to the standards that we should be at, then yeah, I'll always put my hand up to do it.
Yeah. Well, if you want inspiration about playing well behind your peak years, stay tuned for our interview with Nick Screech from the Masters Summer League. A little bit later on, we'll be talking about the Masters Summer League and the culmination coming up this weekend. But in the meantime, Emily, thank you for joining us on this absolutely beautiful autumn day. Wishing you and Galaxy and Essendon Royals all the very best for 2024, and really appreciate everything that you do for the growth of the game with the boys and the girls, but also just with the clubs in general. So thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Appreciate that. Thanks for the time.
Good on you.
Cheers.